Thank you very much. Oh, I love that kid. Hello, are you well? Yeah. Excellent, thank you. I got the call today to do the gig. I did. They were desperate. They dragged me out of retirement. They called me up. They said, will you do a gig for us in Puddletown? I said, fantastic. What the fuck is that? They phoned me from a landline. That's how desperate they were. Excellent. See, there's a website comedians go on to get gigs called Grindr. And so they did. They phoned me up, dragged me out of retirement to do this, to come and say some jokes for you. I was working at B&Q. Do you have a B&Q around here? Yeah. It's where people go to retire. Or Dignitas, that's what it's like. So they dragged me in, they got on the phone, they said, we would like to do a gig for us, but Dimitri, are you any good? Are you any good? Are you any good? Do you think any comedians who's free on a short notice on a Saturday night to do a gig in Puddletown's any good? But here I'll try my best, why not? So my name is Demitris Deech, it's short, it's Greek name, it's short for Gary, hello, thank you. I'm back here again. I've been here before, not quite here. I did the comedy club in what was the place called? It was near here, Portland. And I always like to talk to people on the front row. There was a couple on the front row, I spoke to them, and I said, are you a couple? No, I'm not talking to you. And I said, are you a couple? They'd split up, they'd separate, 2 weeks ago they'd separated because they bought tickets for the comedy night, they thought they'd still come out. And they said, they did. But they said, even though they had split up, they would remain cousins. So thank you, it's nice, it's good, I'm happy to be here, with you. So this is good, and you're my kind of audience as well, because we've got a mix of men and women, and I like them, because I'm jealous of women, because you look out for one another, you protect each other, you've got each other's backs. As blokes, we don't do that, do we? We stitch each other up, we give each other nicknames, we play practical jokes on one another. Do you go to a bar or a pub? It's like, oh, it's Big Phil, Big Dave, Big Bob. Girls don't do that. Then I go meet my friend, Fat Jackie. Hiya, Fat Jackie. You never know, you go into a place, but it's like men and women, there's people who are gender fluid now. That's not something you need a mop for, by the way. And for those who don't know, gender fluid is for people who can't decide if they're a man or a woman. They might wake up one day, I'm a man, the next day they wake up, I'm a woman. I'll be honest with you, if you can't make a decision about something, you're a woman. Now, I know how that goes down. That splits the room. Half the room like that joke, the other half can't decide. See, women can multitask, they can't. See, I'm married, I've got one of those till death us do part things, yeah. Look, women can multitask, do everything. And then my wife suddenly decides that she can't multitask. She can't have a headache and have sex at the same time. But I'm jealous of women. See, we play practical jokes on one another. I used to live in a shared house, 4 guys all living together, and one of them used Viagra tablets. Because he said, you take one of these and you'll have an erection for 12 hours. As if any girl wants 11 and a half hours bored. But he did it nonetheless, taking all these things all the time, we didn't know if he was coming or going. But we, now at the same time, Tic Tacs, the breath freshener, brand new flavour. They were blue and slightly bigger, extra strong mint. And we thought it would be hilarious if we replaced his Viagra tablets with the Tic Tacs. And it was. He would come back into the house with his girlfriend with this brazen, cocky look on his face, go upstairs to what he thought was his secret stash of Viagra. He'd take one. He thought in about 15 minutes' time he was going to end up with a penis with the rigidity of a handle on a frying pan. From John Lewis. I went downstairs sniggering away because we knew in about 15 minutes' time he may be trying to play snooker with a length of rope. And we thought what would be even better than that. See, we had another housemate who liked Tic Tacs. He had an erection for 18 months. Walking around, knocking things over. Upsetting the guy who couldn't get an erection for love or money. You'd think all the girls would be interested in him. He couldn't get a girlfriend. His breath stunk. This thing ruined his life. He lost his job as a lifeguard. This is what men do. But I'm pleased to be here. I'm pleased to be here. I don't know what else happens here in your village hall come library. I don't know. Bingo. There's people at the back disappointed. They've come here to play badminton. God, we don't know what else happens here. But it's thank you. So yeah, I've got a little girl as well. She's 2 years old. She's called Eleni. It's a Greek name. It means bankrupt. And I'm the dad. I take her out to all these things. I do all these things. So competitive being a parent nowadays. Oh, wow. Oh, you have these little coffee mornings with all the mums and that. And oh, yes. Oh, yes. My Felicia, she's 7. And she absolutely makes this adorable hummus. It's like, yeah, but Jordan here, he's 5 and he vapes. And all the names. Jordan, Jaden, Taylor, Tyler, Brandon, Random. Brandon, named after his dad. So competitive. All the coffee shops, all the mums are there. And the thing, they breastfeed. Now, it makes me feel uneasy. Oh, Henry's hungry. Is he? Drinking a latte, going straight through. I don't know. What do I do? Do I get eye contact? Do I look away? I don't know. For solidarity, I just got both bollocks out. And they're still pressing charges. I'm feeling easy. But it's nice to be here. The company of friends. I gigged in Wales. I like driving to Wales from where I'm from, all the way. Caravans. I like overtaking caravans. They freak me out, caravans. Why go on holiday? To pretend you're a gypsy. But I like the accent. I love the Welsh accent. I love it. It's adorable, isn't it? Adorable. It's commanding. It's got strength. It's got passion. I'd love to hear it everywhere. Although you would never really want to hear it in a porn film. Just imagine the woman strips off, the man looks over, tidy. She looks back like, cock, yours is fabulous. It's good. So I'm from a place, just to let you know, I'm from Gloucester, and I was privileged to do a gig for an event called Gloucester Pride. I got the call, and you're articulate people, you're intellectual, you'll know that means gay pride, you'll know that, and I didn't realise that at the time. I did the gig in the end, and I'm glad I did, but I didn't realise it. I got the call, said, will you do an event from Gloucester Pride? And I'm thinking, well, I'm from Gloucester. There's not a lot to be proud of. I didn't realise. So my brain's working. I'm thinking pride. A pride of lions. There's not even a zoo in Gloucester. So I'm on the phone. I said, I didn't even realise there were any in Gloucester. He said, yeah, of course, there's loads. I said, oh, I didn't realise. Will they be at the event? Well, of course. That's what it's all about. I said, that sounds dangerous. Will they be in a cage or on a leash or something? You've got to do these fundraisers. This is a fundraiser, isn't it, tonight? I believe you're raising money. You want to get the rest of your driveway tarmacked. What we'll do, we'll go up 5 metres, then fuck it. We'll put the car park. Won't bother with any tarmac as you walk past. All the way. And then think, well, I get it now. It's fucking Puddletown. We'll have puddles everywhere. In fact, it's just a fundraiser to get rid of the tarmac. We don't want it. We're going to to stick to our name. There's a hole. Piss in it, Dave. Piss in it. So I did a fundraiser. I was asked to do one for people who have gambling addictions. And I think, well, it's their fault. They choose to gamble. Why raise money for that? We did the gig in the end, raised loads of money. Not with the comedy, they had a raffle. So yeah, I got married till death us do part. And she organised the wedding. My job was to organise the honeymoon. Yeah, the honeymoon. So I went in to Thomas Cook with £250. The lady laughed as well. She said, you might need a little bit more than that. I said, okay, here's 500. We'll both go. Why not? Do you know where she sent us for our honeymoon? Where I went with my new wife? Bangkok! The sex capital of the world. I'm there getting off the plane with all these other middle-aged men there to buy a wife. I'm there with my wife. They're confused at customs. They charged me corkage. So I thought I'd have one of these massages, the Thai massages, not the happy ending one. Anyway, but it's obviously sex, it's all sex. So I went in, started taking off my clothes. She started taking off her clothes. I said, no, I'm married. I showed her my ring. She showed me hers. I led on the bed, had the towel around me, and I thought, well, why not? Why not? So I took it off. I showed her my willy. She showed me hers. Anyway, we got back, we'd been married, and then we'd been married for a week, we decided to have children, we thought we'll have children. And it was difficult, and it was unlikely to work out. And I'm going to be honest with you now, I'm going to sort of share a little bit with you, but it was unlikely that my wife was going to get pregnant because she's frigid. And no, I'm joking. No, she's 82. So, no, believe it or not, we're both on the wrong side of 21. So we went to the doctors, you get medical advice. First question he asked, how often do you two have sex? She said, once every other month. I said, 3 times a week. She was right. She schedules it in, she writes it into the diary, she's very organised and regimented and anal about what she's not. So he starts to tell us what we need to do to conceive, and you think, well, surely you knew. And I had an idea that, one time in the month, the woman starts to oscillate. Do a semen test. I had to go to the hospital with a cup, with my name on it, with a lid, sit in the waiting room, and the nurse called me in, directed me to this room. So I went in. She looked at me with disgust as I went in. All there was in the room was a basin, a mirror, as if that's what you want to do, look at yourself, and a little plastic chair, which was still warm from the night before. And in this environment, I have to get myself going with this bright light here. And I'm trying to get going, and I am. And I can hear people walking outside and talking. So I shut the door. I didn't even know how far to take my pants and trousers around my ankles. Like, to take them off seems weird. A little hook. And after 10 minutes, I get to the point of no return. Nothing was going to stop what was about to happen. 3 seconds to go, and I suddenly realised I hadn't taken the lid off the jar. Open it with my mouth. I get the contents in, I go to the counter to give them the jar. It says, gone for lunch. I had to hang around, keeping this warm. Anyway, I hand it in, I get the results a week later, I go and see my doctor, just me this time. He gives me the results, everything's fine, I'm pleased, I'm delighted with that. And then he wants to do a male medical. He wants to check a few things down below. So So I went behind the curtain. I take my pants and trousers down. Now, I'd never been naked in front of another man before, in this situation. Now, you know, I'm heterosexual. I've not got an issue with being gay or anything. But as it turns out, my cock is a massive homophobe. And started retreating into itself. At the end, I'm looking down at just a foreskin. Cowering away behind my balls. So he starts to tug, he starts to feel, I don't know what he's looking for. He said, "Don't worry, Demitri, it is normal in these situations to get an erection." I said, "I won't get an erection." He said, "I wasn't talking about you." I'm joking, that never happened. But his advice was just enjoy sex. He said, try different positions. So I went home and I said, look, we're going to do different positions, not just missionary position, but doggy fashion. The wheelbarrow, the butterfly, the cowgirl, the reverse cowgirl, the rifleman, the countryman, the Pegasus 2000, the three-man ranger. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Those are just caravans. I'm glad I've shared all that with you. And just as an apology for the people at the back who've come tonight for badminton, come and find me and I'll give you a tea tag. Thank you, my name's Demitris Deech, thank you.